Other way that we could go ahead and continue just expanding the net of resources that are available to our constituents.
Drug and gang violence, has that been playing a part of any of these?
The recent shootings that we had over the weekend, there's no real indication of gang activity other than one of the shootings, and that was one we made an arrest in very early. That would have been Saturday on that arrest. And there really is no indication of any drugs involved in these. These, again, I think these are random incidents that are isolated, that have nothing to do with each other, and they were disputes and disagreements that got out of control.
And since the heat is being blamed for a lot of this, are there any programs or stuff that's going to be started up this summer to maybe like expand cooling stations or inform people about that so it prevents this from happening?
Well, I'm not saying that the heat is to blame for what took place. I just think that's a contributing factor. The city of Topeka has done has many programs that are in place. They've given away fans and worked with West Star Energy on a lot of programs. So there's a lot of things that are out there, and there's a lot of places that you can go to seek relief from the heat if you need that.
Obviously, the message is from you, Chief, is don't give up on Topeka. It's still a safe place to live. But even given the last couple months, we had the record year last year and then this spike over the weekend. How do you continue to push that message that it's a safe place when this happens, like in groups?
I'll continue to push that message because it is a safe place. Our violent crime numbers are still down as a whole, and they continue to go down. Unfortunately, we do have a weekend like we had. But again, those numbers are going down because of the relationship that we have with the community. The community is very involved with the police department, and we get a lot of information from those community partners. So the question was asked, what more can we ask of the community? I don't think there's anything more to ask. What I ask is you continue to do what you've been doing, and Topeka is heading in the right direction. And unfortunately, we did have a weekend, like we did, but we were not an isolated city in the United States. If you check the media outlets across the board, Kansas City and other places like that, you'll see that this was one of those weekends that a lot of bad things just took place.
And again, I think that what we have to remind our citizens is our city is still safe. We have, thank God, have not had a spree of things that are happening at random to citizens that are going about their own business. And what I want everybody to understand is that the fact that this is happening with known parties doesn't make it any less meaningful. And we are not saying that these situations are less meaningful. What we are saying is that the city of Topeka is safe. The city of Topeka is safe. However, in order for us to continue ensuring that our community remains being a safe place, we have to continue collaborating like the chief is saying. The other thing that I will clarify as well is poverty is not a cause of crime. And I want for everybody to understand that yes, that we do see in some of the neighborhoods that may have low income resources some of the crime, but that is not synonymous. And we understand that. That is why Chief is working so hard to make sure that we're building relationships with our wonderful families. That is why we are spending time in Highcrest. That's why we're spending time in different neighborhoods, because we understand that that is not the reason to crime. We understand that many times desperation and loneliness are the reason that we get engaged with people that maybe we should not be engaged with. And our hope is, again, that through the resources that we're trying to provide all of you, that you understand that there's resources out there, that we find other ways, and that we all learn to be compassionate with each other, that we all regain the power of discourse and disagreeing civilly. And when things get heated up, a weapon is not the solution. We have to have an end to gun violence. We have to collaborate all together to continue seeing our city through being the best and the safest city, capital city in the United States.
I know you all had expressed your frustration over the national publication, Business Insider, about Topeka being in the top 20 most violent cities in the country. And you all came out with statements after that. How frustrating is it, though, for this kind of recent wave of violence to come out amid you all trying to reiterate the fact that most of the crime that is occurring here is among people that know each other? How frustrating is it to continue to kind of just see this?
Well, the frustrating part is that we still endure these type of weekends. That's the frustrating part. There's a lot of good work going on. As we know, that was a flawed news article, and there was not a lot of research and study that went into it, and they even caveated in their own story that this isn't, a lot of those resources and the databases and stuff were not checked. And if you remember, right after that article came out, we had a rash of shootings that took place that weekend as well. And so, unfortunately, we go through these courses of events, and the thing that I want to remind everybody is that we need to keep pushing forward, need to keep working together. We're removing a lot of guns from the streets. We're making a lot of arrests in people who are illegally possessing firearms. And a lot of that comes from the cooperation and the networking that we have with the community partners. And so, again, it's a safe place to live. It gets frustrating when we have these type of weekends, but I can tell you that the men and women of the Topeka Police Department and the other emergency responders in Topeka are doing an outstanding job. They care about the city of Topeka, and they want this to be a safe place to live.
Absolutely, and if I may add, I want to say thank you to all of our police officers and our firefighters that were participants in this weekend. And on top of doing everything that they're doing, responding to all the calls and ensuring that the citizens that were hurt were able to survive. Chief was very complimentary to the fire department as well, and I also want to extend my appreciation to all they do.
Chief, I have a question. This is for the citizens of Topeka. Can you reiterate what is a person to do when they have a tip or they know something and they're worried about their safety, but they want to give you information? Can you walk us through what should a citizen do?
Yeah, the best thing they can do is call Crime Stoppers, and they can report something anonymously, and that's the same number for the Gun Stoppers program that we have going on. But that's the best way to do it. You can call the Crime Stopper number and give information, and you'll be given a contact number, and the police department or whoever it is, sheriff's office, can get back with that individual if they need more information. But the safest, easiest, and quickest way to do it is call Crime Stoppers.
Do we know if any of the guns used over the